Welcome back to the case study series. And today's case study, we're going to be speaking about Denise and how we can help her with her goals in the early phases, as we do with everyone in this case study series. So, first 5 to 8 weeks. Let's get into it. Case study 2, Denise, age 48, height 5'6", weight 86 kilograms, overweight for height, muscle mass has declined over the years, lightly perimenopausal phase. Occupation and hours. Secondary school teacher, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Family and lifestyle context. Mother of 3 teenagers, 15, 17, and 19. Evenings are busy with homework, supervision, cooking, household responsibilities, and emotional labor. Weekends are largely family centered with occasional social gatherings. Training or sports history. Very little formal training history, some aerobic home workouts in her 30s, and she did Zumba class for 6 months, 8 years ago. Long gaps of no exercise, no real experience of structured resistance training. Diet and drinking. Regularly cook traditional West African home meals, rice, stews, chicken, fish, vegetables, yams. Portions are generally large. Snacks on biscuits, breads, and tea during breaks at school and at home. Drinks occasionally at social events, but not frequently. Problem in her words. She feels like her body has changed overnight. Weight gain around the midsection, blames it on menopause, and also says that having 3 kids has been a reason for the weight gain too. She feels she has lower energy levels and she gets way more aches as she gets older. More stiffness, more aches, and just feel frustrated that weight doesn't drop like it used to. Goals: lose fat, especially around the waist, regain strength, energy, and just age well. She just wants to age well without feeling fragile or constantly tired. Assessment. Here is my assessment as a coach before I give my solution. Denise's issues is not laziness or a lack of discipline. It's just more so a mismatch between what her body needs at this particular stage in life and what she has relied on in the past to get that weight off. She's going through a few things which I'm going to run through. Hormonal changes caused by menopause, which lowers estrogen and it makes it easier for that to be stored in the midsection, and it accelerates muscle loss, especially if you are not lifting weights. Chronic stress from teaching and parenting, which causes higher cortisol, and poor recovery, which becomes more prominent as she ages. Long-term muscle loss due to years of no resistance training, causing a slower resting calorie burn rate. All these things have reduced her metabolic output, let alone bone density decreasing for women as they enter late 30s, combined with menopause. Being simply busy alone is no longer enough to maintain that sound body composition that she once had. Her biggest long-term risk here is not just weight gain, but loss of strength, bone density, and physical resilience. On the positive side, Denise has routine, structure, and responsibility ingrained into her lifestyle, which makes her very, very coachable once given the right framework. Okay? Solution and or program strategy. Denise does not need super high intensity or extreme gimmicky cardio workouts. What she needs is consistency, strength training, and adequate recovery. I will start Denise on 2 gym sessions per week and an extra day dedicated just for low intensity walking. 2 hours. Okay? It could be in a park, around a neighborhood, or if the weather's terrible, then at home or on a treadmill in the gym. Okay? Ideally, 1 weekday gym session immediately after work, lasting 45 to 60 minutes. The other one should be on a Saturday morning session lasting 60 to 80 minutes, with the 2 hour walk being on a Sunday. The training split will be full body as it allows it to engage more muscle groups and stimulate more muscle growth with fewer sessions, improve joint health, posture, and daily function, and burn meaningful calories without excessive fatigue. Both sessions would include 5 to 8 exercises. Very small, but I want it prioritizing lower body strength, patterns like squats, hinges, which helps with balance, of body pulling movements targeting the mid-back and lower back for posture and shoulder health. Core stability, as it's the root of where strength is drawn from all these exercises. Rep ranges will sit between 10 to 14 reps using moderate loads with controlled tempo and sufficient rest between sets. Progression will definitely be slow, will definitely be deliberate. I want there to be a prioritized improvement on form quality and engaging those muscles first before we focus on like trying to go up in weights. But obviously still increasing the weights incrementally as her form gets better over time. Outside of the gym, I'll give her 6 to 7 weekly average steps as a target. Mostly coming from daily life and walking rather than just forced cardio. Okay? That goal in the back of her mind will just make her move more in general. As for the nutrition strategy, Denise doesn't really need an aggressive calorie restriction in these early phases. That particular approach is going to likely worsen fatigue, increase cortisol levels, and stall progress overall. Before tracking calories, the focus would be on portion awareness, particularly carbs, okay, carbohydrates, as she eats primarily West African-based foods. What I'm going to suggest is she dish out the normal portion amount of rice or whatever it is, about fufu or yam or whatever the carb is, weigh it, note it down, then decrease it to a reasonable number and stick to it for future reference. So for example, when she's eating rice and stew, she normally has 220 grams of white rice, just for example. Going forward, when she's dissing it for herself, the rice should be 170 grams at all times. At all times. Now, she should do that for every single carb involved meal. Okay, so decrease the grams between 30 to 50 grams and stick to whatever number you decreased it to. Okay? Prioritize protein at every meal. That's a given. Reduce the amount of oil used when cooking certain foods. Oil, not only in Denise's case, but most of West African households, they're just a must-have in 9 out of 10 foods. Now, I'm not saying don't have it, but what I'm saying is be a bit more soft-handed when it comes to flinging the oil in those dishes, please, okay? Lastly, reduce the habitual workplace snacking, or ultimately, swap out for low-calorie alternatives like rice, cakes, or even better, swap out for fruit snacking instead. Rather than removing cultural or familiar foods, place structure around it. So the order should be protein first, veggies second, and then carbs portioned third. Not eliminated, portioned. The goal within the first 5 to 8 weeks for Denise is building that structure around moving more, learning how to lift weights, and placing reasonable caveats around her eating and being consistent with every single one of those things. Extra things to add. Denise should take starting photos, record her weight, and take measurements of her waist and hips. Progress should be reviewed every 6 weeks, as I always say, as visual and measurement changes are far more motivating at this stage than daily scales fluctuations. Okay? Sleep is non-negotiable. A minimum of 7 hours per night is quintessential. Given the combined physical and mental stress of teaching and parenting, I also would send her light mobility stretches for her to do at home only 3 times a week, which will take 5 to 10 minutes of her evening tops. It will also help reduce stiffness of joints and increase flexibility ever so slightly and improve recovery all round. What success should look like 6 weeks later? Now, assuming she adheres to about 70% of what I ask of her, waist measurement should noticeably reduce. There should be mood improvements. She should be feeling and looking slightly less bloated in the face and midsection. Strength improved across all the key movements. Higher daily energy levels and fewer aches. Less stiffness around the joints. She's slightly more mobile. There should be improved posture and confidence. And the scale would have come down 2 to 4 kilos, roughly. And there should be a stronger mindset, mentality, a belief that her body's not broken or that she's just getting old or any of that nonsense, but that she can hit a new prime in her late 40s with this continued consistency. This Denise case study is very common, particularly women in their 40s who have selflessly spent years prioritizing family and work over themselves and their bodies. Okay? Now, if this sounds like you, rewatch this, take notes, and apply all the principles that I've given. Now, if you're somebody you know somebody like this, maybe they're your mother or whatever, send this video to them. Or take down the keynotes and explain this wealth of knowledge to them. Now, if you want hands-on guidance beyond this early phase advice, because this advice is only for first 5 to 8, 9 weeks, visit my website at www.ebscubed.com, view my transformations, view my testimonials, and apply for one-to-one coaching. Act fast. I know you're ready for change, okay? Thank you guys if you have watched this entire video to the end. There's a lot of yapping. Please do like and subscribe. Okay? You guys know what to do. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, thank you.